So I'm going to speak to you very briefly just about, I guess, three sort of key memories of Haas, and hopefully you can gain some insight into why I think you can relate back to your own experience about how special Haas is in your life, and also tie that back to LLC and how you can make an impact to people in the future. So firstly, why did I come to Haas? As I think most of you know, several years ago I suffered an eye injury, which, long story short, that's not getting any better in the future. So I went from, at the time, being an officer in the Navy, I had perfect eyesight, I had my pilot's license, to within a matter of weeks, not being able to read, not being able to drive, huge shock. And I guess for a few years afterwards, I was able to get a job and muddle along, but I never really had any kind of bearing in my life about where I was going. And the idea of coming to business school, I guess at a deeper level, I pretty much thought, well, let's roll the dice, let's try and do something which is going to give me the opportunity not just to change my career, but to hopefully change the direction my life is going. And I'm really fortunate that I did. When I first came here, I came to days at Haas, and I heard the rhetoric about confidence without attitude, et cetera, et cetera. Coming from England, I have a healthy cynicism, as I'm sure you've gleaned from myself, Gwyn, and Richard Kenny. But I can honestly say that I was amazed by this generosity and the sincereness of everyone at Haas, and I couldn't have made a better choice. I believe I'm the first person in this situation to come to Haas and try and get through an MBA, and I couldn't have done it with the help of all of you. I know there's been more than a few occasions where in class I've had to ask a few of you for notes, or in the case of corporate finance, I think the only way I got through there was someone passed me Brandon Pay's phone number, and I'd sort of bug him every night. But whether it was giving me a lift or trying to make adjustments and just helping me, both in terms of my classmates and indeed the staff and faculty, I can't thank you enough. And really the impact that's had on me and the opportunities it's given me, I will never forget. Secondly, coming to Haas, I guess I've been doing a dual degree in the sense that I'm going to graduate with an MBA and also an MRS. I met my fiancée, soon-to-be wife, at Cafe Strada next door, ironically. This was actually the first week of Haas, which completely destroyed my budget. So yeah, depending on your point of view, I guess that's either a good or bad thing. But yeah, so everything now costs twice as much. And apologies to Carlos and Alvarone. So my fiancée is Peruvian, but everything takes twice as long. So I often say to her I have to work on PST, which is Peruvian slow time. But yeah, I've been really fortunate to obviously being here. That's also led me to meet my future wife. We're getting married in Lima in July, and again, that's something which I simply wouldn't have happened if I'd have not come here. And finally, the third point I'd like to comment on is, as we alluded to earlier, Polar Vision. Most of you know about this, but in a nutshell, I've been working for the last 18 months to 2 years to try and put a project together whereby I'd attempt to become the first person with a visual impairment to cross Antarctica from the coast all the way to the South Pole. For sure, there's an element of I'd want to do this, but on a wider scale, what we're trying to do is to support two very worthwhile charities, Guide Dogs to the Blind, which is based up in San Rafael, and also Sight Savers International, which does very valuable work all across the globe, supporting those who are much less fortunate than ourselves. And again, I'd like to sort of thank all of you and the school in particular, and this highlights some of the ways in which previous donations from LLC-style events have really helped us. The Dean and the school were very kind in allotting us some money, which helped us complete our training, which we've just come back for up just below the Arctic Circle in Canada. And we're well set in terms of the structure and a lot of our gear to hopefully make this a reality in December this year. So I do hope that a lot of you will follow that and support us in the sense that you'll sort of keep tabs on us there. We'll certainly send things back. Our website, for those of you who don't know, is polar-vision.org. If you go to polarvision.org, you go to some random site in Ohio, I think. But please stay in touch. And again, I just want to sort of thank you both for all your help for getting me through this MBA and for your support through Polar Vision. And in passing over to Andrew, who's one of my teammates, just to tell you how he came to join the team. When I first came to Haas, I had it in the back of my mind that I'd want to expand the team to make it an Anglo-American team and have a Haas classmate involved. And I heard stories about this guy he spent the second weekend, I think, doing a triathlon from Alcatraz Island, I think when everyone else was recovering from a consumption function. And I later found out that on his IBD, he'd after going out drinking for about 7 hours in Sweden, he decided to go and do the Stockholm Marathon. So he seemed like a good fit. But I'll pass you over to Andrew.